Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. As you know, as you can't avoid if you're on YouTube for any amount of time and you follow makeup content, there's a Sephora sale going on. And I feel like if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you know what like newish or semi-newish things I've been enjoying from Sephora lately. Like you've seen me use and enjoy the Patrick Ta All Matte palette. You know I like that new Fenty Stick foundation. But if I'm gonna do a video like this right now, I wanna boil it down as much as I can. Like either some holy grails or just some things that are the absolute like all-time standouts. And I started thinking yesterday, what are the things from Sephora that I truly use every single day? And I couldn't believe how small the list was. I do infuse a lot of drugstore. There could be certain Sephora things that could be in the category of frequently used, but not daily. You know, it's only like 6 things. And like 2 of them I'd call skincare related. So yeah, I thought what a great focus for a video to really just talk about those things that absolutely get used daily by me. There are still some other great things out there, but I do a lot of subbing in. You know, I do a lot of mixing it up around here. And if it's daily use, that's really saying something. I've got already my base makeup on. Today I use the Very Valentino foundation. This I have in the shade LIGR5. I like this foundation. I wanted to have some good coverage and staying power today, and this is kind of a good one to grab for that. I paired it with my Tower 28 concealer, which I wear in CC. I use the Laura Mercier, the like pink tone setting powder on my under eye area, and a little bit of my Huda glowish powder, the pressed powder that has the little bit of luminosity. I use that all over the rest of the face. Now, the first Sephora thing that I think gets used daily around here is the 56 brush. This is maybe the one thing that's like, oh, well, there might be some days where I don't use a cream contour or a cream blush, but pretty much every day one of the two is happening. Either it's a cream contour or a cream or liquid blush. So yeah, this just gets used all the time. I actually have it in 2 versions. This is the full size, and at another point, as a VIB Rouge perk thing, I have the smaller size. It's really just a shorter handle, but it's the same size brush head. So I usually use this one for my cream contours or bronzers, and then I use this one for the blushes. So I'm just gonna demo that for you today. Today I'm gonna use my Mario stick. This is in the shade medium. I do really like the tone of this cream contour. Would I say it's my absolute favorite? No, but I like it. It does have a brush attached at the other end, but it doesn't compare to the 56. This is just my favorite. I love the density, I love the cut, and honestly, this brush can do so much more than just the cream contour steps. I think before I really got into doing that, I very much enjoyed using this as a foundation and concealer brush. The size is just truly so good. It fits in a lot of places, but it just is an absolute dream alongside the cream contour types of products. And if you're thinking, well, what about a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush? This is a little bit bigger. It's got a little more give to the bristles, and you want just enough give, just enough mobility in those bristles to really help some of these products blend. I would want more density in a brush where I was trying to build up coverage. So yes, the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush is great for building up coverage. I've been using a similar one from Profusion lately for foundations, and those are great, but this has a little more movement in those bristles, but not too much. It's still stiff enough to come at these cream products and help them blend really well. But we're almost in more of a mode of let's shear out what just got put on here rather than let's build up the coverage of this liquid product. You know what I'm saying? So this just happens to be a really perfect brush, and yes, it gets pulled for constantly. If not for bronzer, usually a cream or liquid blush. This isn't even my easiest to blend cream contour stick. I would say Persona and M Cosmetics rank a little higher for me, but this brush certainly made the job easy enough, right? And then I'm gonna go on with a cream blush, and I'm just gonna use my other one that, since I have 2, like I said, I reserve one for blush. This is from the LYS set, and it's the shade called Humble. Really pretty corally pink, and I just go straight into it with this brush. That's what I do a lot of times with this format of product. And if it's a liquid, maybe if it's a really intense one, I'll dab that liquid on my hand, pick it up with the brush and go, or you might dot some of the liquid on your cheeks. Picturing the Hard Candy Face Off products, I swipe them on with the doe foot and then blend out with this brush. This brush can blend cream highlights as well. I mean, it's just such a multitasker. It's definitely money well spent if you're one who uses a lot of cream and liquid blush products, or you might be interested in using it for foundation. But I just feel like its mission in life is the cream contours, blushes, bronzers. So easy, so good. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, Em, I mostly use powder bronzer and powder blush, then maybe you don't need this at all. But if you're getting into the creams, it makes life so easy. I'm just building it up a little because that's who I am. It's Halloween as I shoot this. Yes, that beautiful blush, beautifully, flawlessly blended, and it's not really because of me, it's because of the brush. We're moving along. I did my brow. I used my Estee Lauder 3-in-1 on the brow area today, and I love that product, but I don't use it every single day. I primed my eyes. I got out today my ABH Rose Metals palette because I thought, well, it's still right now, it's still really fall, and this is such a fall palette. This completely mimics what I see when I am driving and I see the colors changing. I see these bronzy oranges. I still see some green. I see brown. I see red, even red with a little ruby in it on certain trees. I love this palette and it has to be used, you know, like I said, this is Halloween. This is Halloween. I wanted to pop that on today. I used my Hard Candy Cold Brew Jumbo Stick on the lower lash line and kind of topped it off. Smoked it out with, I think, this shade called Element right here. So eye look is done, but daily use item, my Shiseido eyelash curler. And fun fact, now that it's holiday time, you can get this gold version. The silver version, I mean, it operates just the same. So if you put this off and don't go ahead and get it and wait until there's only a silver, it still works just the same. But I love my fancy gold one with the little red pad there. And this is truly the best eyelash curler I've ever used. It fits my lash line better than anything else. It's got the right amount of squish when you press down, and I do periodically try different ones. You know, recently got one from Hard Candy, different ones here and there, and I mean, I'm on another level with this. This is one of those truly worth it things. I use it without fail every single day. It has more than made up for its price tag, I think, in just the amount of use. It's durable, it doesn't break. If I'm traveling, I'm taking this. Like, I just wouldn't go a day without using it. So there you go. And I am a daily makeup wearer, so this is all honest info here. But I just like to pulse it as I use it, and obviously I've been talking to you as I do this, so we've got kind of an estimate of how long I went. But if I'm just here alone doing my makeup, I basically count to 30, and that's how long I hold it. I'm gonna use some upper lash mascara here. I'm gonna use the Huda One Coat Wow. Again, a mascara that I like, but I don't use it every day. The lower lash mascara, can you guess what that is? Because that is daily use, so that's coming. But yeah, this Huda One Coat Wow, you truly got to stick to the one coat. Even having this for weeks now and using it quite a bit, and you think, well, maybe you've used up some of the product out of the tube so it'll behave differently. No, even if you do try to sneak in a second coat, you'll get funky ends, and it will flake a little bit later in the day. So if you want to go harder than the one coat with this, you have to use a primer first. That can work, but don't be dipping back in for more from this tube because the lashes just don't handle it. So work with what's on the brush, and honestly, it does give you a really good, really effective one coat look. Look at that. Yep. So we go back and we curl this eye. And I really try to get it right at my lash line. I just know that feeling when I put it on. I could probably do it without a mirror, but we're pulsing, pulse, 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 and we're holding for a total of about 30 seconds. I should probably say that more in my videos because sometimes, you know, the fast forwarding and all, you don't know how long it actually was. But I love this lash curler. It might be the absolute #1 most important thing of this whole video. Is this lash curler. Shiseido. How many years has it been? I feel like it's been at least like 3 years that I've been using that every day. I think I started with the silver. And then 1 year I got the holiday one. And I have naturally like really straight lashes that want to practically downward point, so it is a critical step for me. And if I didn't get it on there very well, or I didn't hold it very long, I can tell. Like I can tell the difference between a good curl and a bad curl. So now that I feel like, you know, this is where I might dip in for another coat, but I know that that's a bad idea, so I kind of like really start wiggling the brush down into the lash line, try to get every bit off. Good stuff. Are you ready for another daily use item? This is number 3 on my list, I believe, because we had the Sephora 56 brush, we have the Shiseido lash curler, and now we've got the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara. This is about I want to say my 3rd tube of this. I don't go through it super fast because I use it on my lower lashes only. Because it does not smudge. It's a tubing mascara, and there are still, just simply because a mascara is tubing does not necessarily mean it won't smudge at all. Because I swear there are some that still have, I don't know if it's just the way the pigment is in the mascara, but some can still smudge. And maybe as a whole, when you go to remove your mascara, you're like, okay, it's coming off like a tubing one, but certain ones aren't flawless about this. But this one is. This one won't do anything. It won't. I've worn it enough to know, and I use it every day on my lower lashes, and therefore I'm putting a very small amount on here, you see? So therefore I'm having this mascara longer. I know we talk about the 3-month rule. Well, I'm sorry, I haven't died yet. I'm still here, and I definitely go beyond 3 months with a tube of this because all I do is put it here. Now, can it be pretty on the upper lashes? Sure. And if you're having a particularly worrisome day in the staying power department, if it's a funeral, if it's a birth, if it's, you know, put it on the uppers too. But for day-to-day wear, you'll conserve it much more if you only do it on the lowers. I actually have some pretty long lower lashes, so I think that's where I run into trouble. I got problem lashes. I got the top ones wanting to go like this. I got the lower ones being nice and long, and that becomes a disadvantage when they're practically, you know, touching the skin down beneath. So that's why the staying power thing is so important to me. So I want something that I don't have to be looking at throughout the day saying, oh, did the mascara transfer down yet? This I can count on. For sure. So that is my lash look. You know, it's giving me what I want to do for an average day, but I could easily make that more dramatic if I wanted to. Okay guys, so all I've done since doing my lashes is my lip. And today I use this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Full Scale Rust. It's the overall shade you're seeing on my lips. And something that coordinates with that so well is this Hourglass. This is the Phantom stuff in the shade Haze. It's not really called Phantom stuff, but Phantom is in the name. I just don't know the rest of the words. But Haze is this pretty kind of like rosy, soft reddish thing, and I thought it would look so pretty pairing with that lip liner, and it does. The next thing that gets used daily, sometimes you see it coming into a video, but a lot of times this happens later on in the day too as I'm touching up, but even off camera, like let's say I just finished things and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this step. I will catch myself on it usually most days. This is Kosas Cloud Set, and this is in the shade Airy. This is the lightest shade. I've also used the shade that's like one deeper than this, and that's good too. But something I always do with this, like there are multiple ways I like to use it, but one way, I take a little brush. This was meant to be an eye brush, I think from ColourPop, but it's a little too chonky for that. And I go under my lower lash line. This is especially important on days when there's makeup there. Not every day is there lower lash line makeup, but I've been getting into that lately with using fun liners and topping it off with shadows, and this locks it in. Okay, so that's kind of a lock-in pre-oil absorbing preventative step. And then another way I like to use this is taking my Morphe Bullet brush and I roll into it slightly and I go over that seam between blush and under eye. And there's a flawlessness with this. Now, I've talked about the drugstore dupe for this, which is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Pressed Powder. For this particular shade, it's the color called Porcelain. And that's so good, but this is still up a notch from that. this is still, the ingredients or the composition of the product, it's even sneakier on the skin. But so often this is the touch-up thing, or you do see it come in at the end of videos that I do. But I really felt like, yeah, I think I'm using that every single day on some level. Let's say I came up here and it was late in the day and I'm looking at my face and I'm like, what do I need? You know, maybe I'm feeling like I got a little shiny in some areas. Things just aren't looking as fresh. You know, I come in with this. Okay, I use this a lot. I think it's a very special powder, and I think maybe it's the fact that it's talc free. I don't know if that's why it's coming off like so beautifully on the skin, but it's just a beautiful powder you can count on for those little like setting moments, I feel. Could you set the under eye with this? Absolutely. If you go back in my videos, I'm pretty sure I did a Kosas like full face and I just straight up set the under eye. It can do that, absolutely. But I just find in my makeup routine, it's coming in as this thing that just sort of ends the look and perfects everything. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I mentioned I had 6 things. Should I take my hair down first? No, I'll talk about it and then I'll take my hair down. Now this is something that I get through David, my Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair, but I'm mentioning it now because maybe you can save some money in the sale. The Advanced Night Repair Synchronized Multi-Recovery Complex from Estee Lauder. This is the first thing I put on my face after I've taken my makeup off at night, and I use it every single night. It is a product you can get from Sephora. I'm always going to support David through this, but I thought, you know, give it a shout out. It is so good. If I talked about things I was using every day and this didn't come into the mix, like it has to be, because it's a nightly thing, and I really think it makes a difference in the overall clearness of my skin, the smoothness. One of the biggest things that I saw this do for me was I was having little milia bumps all over my forehead, and once I started using this consistently, those went away. I use this and then I put like some e.l.f. Holy Hydration on top of that, or I've started using a little sample size of the Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Cream, because, you know, my mom, she's in her 70s and her skin's basically flawless and she uses that stuff, and so I thought I'm gonna try a sample of that last time I was in Walmart, and that's been good to me too. I think my skin had a little getting used to period with the retinol. Like I had a few little breakouts actually, but now I feel like I'm doing really well with that. But anyways, this is step 1 and I love it, and I've gone through multiple bottles of it. This is a big bottle here, 1.7 fluid ounces we're working with on this one, but love it, and I use most of a dropper every night. And then number 6, using this every night. This is my Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. You want to talk about something that is rich, moisturizing, that you wake up and you're like, wow, I still feel that on my lips. My lips didn't just eat that up in a heartbeat, you know. My dry, crusty lips still are nice and soft, and it's like the perfect base. I love set it and forget it kinds of things. I love crock pots, I love hot rollers, and I love a nice lip mask going all night on my lips, so when I wake up in the morning, they're feeling better. And if there's a time of year for this specifically, this is it. This is the Juicy Watermelon one. You can get any scent or flavor. I mean, this smells really good to me, but there are other ones that are great too. I've gotten my mom onto it. She's big into these. She's gone through at least a couple. They're just thick. They're thicker than Laneige, I think, and you do feel a little bit of a plumping thing going on. It says hydrating, plumping, smoothing. It would be a great little thing to use too if you're sitting down in the morning and you want to get something going on your lips, get them moisturized. It's nice for that too. I actually keep my Laneige up here for that now. This is my caramel apple one, but this is the big daddy. This is the nighttime pre-bed thing that I put on my lips every single night. So yeah, friends, I'm not going to end this video with hot rollers, and I'm going to take those out. I will link to everything I've mentioned below if you're interested in trying some of these things, and I'll even link to these rollers too. I think you can get these on Amazon. These are just my like kind of lazy rollers. They're less about giving a pronounced curl and more about just giving volume and shape. Whoa, you scared me. When the door squeaked, I was expecting to see a cat, and then there was a person, and I'm like, oh, what was your dream about?
I tried to tell you your problems, and then I died.
Oh, Biddy. So again, just shape. It's really good for my new hairdo that has layers, but my hair was squeaky clean going into these, so it might not be able to hold quite as well as I want. I'll put these back in the thingy. It's literally just a 5-roller set. That's all it is. You brush it out a little bit, but I love what it does around the face. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful to you in really figuring out from me what things are the true must-haves. Let's share some holy grails, you know? Let's share those things that are absolutely in that routine on the daily that you're not putting down. I want to hear about those things. So tell me yours in the comments, and I will see you guys again very soon. I love you. Bye.